the cry that broke the night, as strange wails tore through the still air of the Zarnath, settlement like a knife dot in the shadowed valleys of Virelia, a jagged planet of swirling purple skies and towering crystal forests. The alien cubs cried all night. Their voices were raw, high-pitched, a sound no one could ignore. For hours, the colony's residents tried to calm them, but nothing worked. Janus, the human janitor of the settlement, listened from the dimly lit maintenance tunnels. His rough hands gripped the cold steel railing as the cries gnawed at his nerves. Janus wasn't a hero, not in the usual sense. Once he had been a combat medic in Earth's outlying wars, then a mechanic, fixing broken ships and broken machines. But here, among the Zarnathians, he was just the janitor, the man who cleaned the halls and repaired the old pipes no one wanted to touch. Yet, tonight, those cries stirred something inside him. He pushed through the heavy metal door leading to the nursery quarters. The cubs, small, furry creatures with wide, shining eyes, huddled together in their nests, trembling. Their caretaker, an alien named Relkor, paced nervously, trying to soothe them in a language Janus didn't understand. Relkor looked up when Janus entered. "It is no use," Relkor said quietly. "They will not stop. They have never cried like this before. Something is wrong." Janus knelt beside the nests, his eyes scanning the little creatures. The cries were not just hunger or fear. It was deeper. A pain he couldn't name in the settlement's strange new world. The cubs' distress felt like a warning. Janus felt a sudden surge of protectiveness. "I'll try something," he said. "Maybe they need something different." Relkor gave him a hopeful look, but said nothing. Janus carefully scooped up one of the cubs, a trembling ball of purple fur with bright amber eyes. The cub stiffened, then whimpered. Janus moved gently, his voice soft and calm. He rocked the cub in his arms. The cries did not stop immediately, but something shifted. The cub's tiny body relaxed. Janus continued rocking, humming a low tune from Earth. The cub's eyes grew heavy. Then something surprising happened. The cubs stopped crying. One by one, the other cubs quieted as Janus moved through the room. Rocking and humming. By dawn, the nursery was silent. Relkor watched in awe. "How did you do that?" He whispered. Janus shrugged. "Old Earth trick. Sometimes you just have to be steady. Be patient." But deep inside, Janus knew this was only the beginning. Something was very wrong on Virelia, and the cubs' cries were only the first. Sign. Outside, the crystal trees shimmered in the early light, casting strange patterns on the settlement. The peace was fragile. Janus wiped sweat from his brow and looked toward the rising sun. Whatever came next, he would be ready. Shadows beneath the crystals. Days passed, but the silence of the cubs never fully returned. They were quieter, yes, but restless, twitching in their sleep, eyes darting beneath lids. The adults whispered among themselves, unease growing like a creeping frost. Janus found himself drawn to the nursery, again and again, watching the cubs with a mix of worry and fascination. Relkor had become his closest ally, a calm, thoughtful figure with wise eyes that seemed to carry centuries of knowledge. One evening, while Janus cleaned the dim hallways, a shadow flickered across the entrance. Two figures slipped inside, uniformed officers from the Aldra faction, the political force ruling over the settlement. They carried themselves with cold authority and sharp eyes that scanned the corridors like hawks. Janus felt a chill. The Aldra rarely showed themselves to janitors. Relkor approached quietly, whispering, "They are here to inspect the nursery. The cubs' distress has made waves." Janus's jaw tightened. The Aldra were known to suppress any sign of weakness. In the colony, problems were swept under the crystalline floorboards, so to speak. Inside the nursery, the officers examined the cubs coldly. poking and prodding, their voices clipped and official. This disturbance must stop, one said. No excuses. It reflects poorly on the colony's stability. Relcor's antennae drooped slightly, but the cubs, they are suffering. Compassion is a luxury we cannot afford, the officer snapped. Discipline and order first. Janus clenched his fists. He had heard this logic before on battlefields and prison ships. It always meant pain for the innocent. That night, as the cubs cried again, Janus knew he couldn't trust the Aldra to fix the problem. He made a decision. If the official rulers refused to care, he would do it himself. The mechanics touched Janus. Spent days exploring the ancient tunnels beneath the settlement, abandoned. Caverns left from a time before the crystals grew so high. In one dusty chamber, he found relics of old tech. Devices that looked like machines, but hummed faintly with energy. One, in particular, caught his eye. A small sphere covered with strange symbols and faintly glowing light. Curious, Janus brought it back to the nursery. Relcor frowned. That is an ancient comfort device, long lost to us. Janus turned it over in his hands. The sphere pulsed softly, responding to his touch. He powered it on. Soft vibrations filled the room. A gentle hum like a heartbeat. The cubs stopped crying immediately. Janus smiled. Looks like this old thing still works. Relcor's eyes shone. It brings calm. But why do the cubs need it now? Something deeper troubles them. Janus nodded, feeling the weight of the question. He checked the colony's sensors and found strange readings in the surrounding forest. An unknown energy signature pulsing beneath the crystal roots. Janus and Relcor decided to investigate. Ventured into the glowing crystal forest, the ground crunching beneath their boots, the air thick with electric charge. Deeper in, they found a cavern, its walls humming with energy, but the source was a dark, corrupted root strangling the life from the crystals around it. This is poisoning the land, Relcor said, voice tight. Janus studied the roots. If this spreads, it could destroy the entire ecosystem, and the cubs could be reacting to that. Before they could react further, a loud crack echoed behind them. They turned to see the Aldra officers, flanked by soldiers, blocking their exit. You are ordered to stop this investigation, the lead officer said. The colony's safety is at risk. Janus's heart pounded. Relcor stepped forward, calm but firm. Ignoring the poison will kill us all. The officer sneered. Ignorance is safer. Suddenly, the cavern trembled. The corrupted roots writhed like living things. Twisting towards them. Janus grabbed Relcor's arm. Run! They sprinted through the tunnels as the forest shook, the corruption spreading fast. Trust in the Oz. Dark back in the settlement, the tension had turned into fear. The corrupted roots had begun to appear near homes and water sources. The Aldra blamed the cubs' distress on human meddling, calling Janus a dangerous agitator. Janus was placed under watch, forbidden from leaving his quarters. Relcor visited him in secret. You must work together, Relcor said. You have skills no one else here trusts. Janus nodded. Then let's find a way to stop the corruption before the whole colony dies. They gathered a small group of trusted allies, a mix of humans, Zarnathians, and others who believed. In hope over fear, together, they studied the corrupted roots and developed a plan to use the ancient technology Janus had found to purify the energy poisoning the land. But to activate the device fully, they would need to access the colony's central power core, guarded heavily by the Aldra. Janus volunteered to infiltrate the core facility. Relcor insisted on joining him. In the dead of night, they slipped through shadowed corridors, avoiding patrols. When they reached the core, Janus began interfacing the ancient sphere with the modern power grid. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Aldra were coming. Janus worked frantically. sweat stinging his eyes. The device began to glow, sending a wave of pure energy through the tunnels. Outside, the corrupted roots started to wither, but inside, the guards closed in. Relcor blocked their path, buying Janus time. Janus shouted, "Go! I'll cover you." Relcor hesitated, then fled as the guards grabbed Janus. The price of compassion. Janus was taken to a dark holding cell. The lead Ultra officer confronted him. "You jeopardized the colony with your reckless actions." Janus spat back, "Ignoring this poison will kill everyone here." "You're the real danger." The officer's cold smile twisted. "Your kind thinks they can fix everything. But some things are bigger than humans." Janus clenched his jaw. "Maybe, but humans don't give up on others. Not even alien cubs crying all night." Relcor appeared outside the cell, eyes burning with determination. "We won't leave you here," he said. "The colony needs you." Using their combined knowledge, the Allies launched a rescue. Janus was freed just as the corruption started to shrink visibly throughout the colony. The settlers rallied, inspired by Janus's courage and Relcor's wisdom. Even some Uldra. Soldiers began questioning their orders, but the officer who captured Janus was not finished. He announced harsher controls, threatening to exile dissenters. Rising hope despite the crackdown. Hope spread through the colony. Janus and Relcor led efforts to heal the land. The ancient device, powered by the colony's energy core, purified the corrupted roots completely. The cubs, once restless and crying, now played freely in the crystal forests. The settlers celebrated their survival, a victory born of compassion, trust, and human ingenuity. Janus stood among the crystals, feeling the cool breeze on his face. He looked at Relcor. "We did it." Relcor smiled. "Together." But just as the colony breathed easier, new signals pulsed from deep beneath Virelia's core. Unknown, ancient energy. And the real test was yet to come. The future beyond the cry. Months later, Janus worked alongside the colony's leaders, blending human innovation with alien tradition. The cubs grew strong, symbols of unity between species. Janus rocked one of the cubs gently, a reminder of the night it all began. Suddenly, the colony's sensors blared. An unidentified ship appeared in orbit, silent, massive, and unlike anything seen before. The Eldra demanded immediate military response. Janus shook his head. "No, we don't fight first. We listen." Relcor nodded. As the alien ship's lights blinked, a new chapter for the colony began. One built on compassion, trust, and the fragile hope of peace. Janus smiled softly, rocking the cub to sleep once more. The alien cubs would cry no more.